I get this question a lot. Can you date as a trainee? Am I allowed to say this? Hi guys, I'm Judy. This is Trainee Tidbits, and today I'm going to be answering the most frequently asked questions about the K-pop trainee life. To get started, I have my questions here in my iPad. The first question is, what was a typical day in the life of a trainee like? How was the schedule set up? So I get this question a lot, and I think the best way to answer is that it's split up between on and off seasons. So during filming or any of like the performances from My Teenage Girl, sometimes the schedule could last from 12 to 16 hours, but the schedule, a normal schedule could look like after school, you would come in, dance practice, vocal lessons for an hour or two, and then a lot of it would actually be, I can't think of this in English, but 개인 연습. It's just like personal practice for like 6 to 8 hours in a little studio by myself. Did they pay for everything such as your food, clothes, hair, and makeup? I want to say yes and no, because even though they pay for everything, it does get accumulated into your debt. So anything from like living expenses to getting your hair done or like any concept photo shoots, anything that the company will do for you that also includes transportation, you should know that it's going to be all filed and they're going to have a big sum for you to pay back after you debut. How did you get through evaluations? This one was really tough for me just because I wasn't used to singing in front of a lot of people, and I was used to dancing in front of a lot of people, but I was never used to singing. So that was something that I had to get over the hurdle. And it's not like the super nice, like, oh my God, like 너무 잘한다, like you're doing such a great job, babes. Like they will stare you down like hyenas, and they will critique your every single move. And sometimes you can even see them like shaking their head in disapproval, be like, that's not really, it's a very scary 분위기. Sorry, I don't know what the word is in English, but like the whole setup is very like stress and anxiety inducing because this is like once a month that you have to do, and they'll basically critique you to cut you or keep you in the company. I would get most nervous right before the night, and so if there was a song that I was performing, that's the only song that I will be playing for like the entire month straight. Ooh, can trainees have social media accounts? I want to say, if this is kept between you and me, yes and no. Of course, they are told to, like, when you sign up for the company and stuff like that, they will ask you to write down your Instagram account and all your social media accounts. And I think this is to like check if you still have it open. But when you do sign into your company, you're not allowed to have any social media accounts. But since I had all my friends in America and I still wanted to keep in touch with them, am I allowed to say this? Oh, I feel like I'm okay, right? I had accounts. I definitely had accounts because I would keep through with all my friends and keep in touch. So I had secret accounts that I would change the username almost bi-weekly to like catch them off guard. But it would be like the most like heinous, like random accounts, like I don't know, like ZBIY, whatever, like it would just be one of those secret accounts that I had. So can they have social media accounts? No, but I did. Are you allowed to interact with other trainees from different companies? I would say it really depends on your company, because for me, I wasn't allowed to interact with other trainees, and that was just one of the rules that they had. Normally you can, and you know, because you're friends, they can't really control who you meet and who you don't meet. I think the only issue with this is that when you are a trainee, you do have to keep up with your personal image, because any picture or video or anything that's like taken prior can be used against you when you debut because of jealousy, whatnot. So I would just say be careful, and that's why a lot of trainees will wear like the beanies and like the masks when they're meeting their friends. How did you manage schooling with training? So this one is a little bit interesting because I was in high school when COVID came out. So it was like the whole new era online learning. I think because of online learning, I was able to go to Korea and finish and graduate high school in Korea. So my personal schedule was I would wake up at like 12 a.m. and then do my school until 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning, and then I would get ready and then start my day. And a normal schedule for me would be from like 9 to 10 p.m. and then I would rest from like 10 to 12 and then do the whole cycle again. And I think I did that when I was training for my teenage girl, and that was for maybe like 3 to 4 months, and then I graduated high school. Ooh, I get this question a lot. How much were beauty standards pushed onto trainees? Did this lead to a lot of dieting? I think the answer is yes, because there's a lot of societal pressures that will come from being a K-pop trainee, because you're expected to be portrayed as a certain character, and this character is normally categorized and created for you by your company. Surprise, surprise, you don't really get any freedom, you don't really get any liberty in this entire situation. One really interesting thing that I had was when I was meeting with the company one time, they sat me down like at the end of this long table, and there were 10 people, like 5 on each side, 11 plus the CEO, like right in front of me, and they kind of just stared at me like quietly for like a good 10 minutes, and they asked me to like put my 2 fingers in my mouth and then like open wide so they can get like a view of like my teeth and everything. And they were telling me like, oh, you know, you might have to like get your eyes done, you're gonna have to get like your teeth done, we might have to do some like jaw reconstructing, or like they will like tell you a bunch of things that they would recommend you. They're like, not right now, but in the future this is what you should have in your mind, so you're not just like surprised. The thing that I saw in Korea is how desperate kids are, and I see a lot of like 12-year-olds, they're like, oh my god, 언니, like I need to get Botox, or I need to get filler, or like when I grow up, like I'm gonna have to like shave my jaw. And I'm like, you're 12. You shouldn't be thinking about this when you haven't even grown into your features. And did this lead to a lot of dieting? Yes. Because unfortunately for me, I don't have features that are like super sharp on camera, so I would have to lose a lot more weight, or else I would look a lot heavier than I do, because they say the camera adds 10 pounds to your face or your entire body. So I do know a lot of trainees that would go through insane diets to look somewhat better on camera. I think the craziest thing I did was before every shoot, I used to go to like a sauna. It's called a jjimjirbang in Korea, and I would stay in like the hottest room for like an hour plus to like take every single like water retention out of my body so I can look like the tiniest bit slimmer on camera. Yeah, I would just like dehydrate, like crisp up my body, if that makes any sense. I get this question a lot. Can you date as a trainee, and is trainee debt real? Again, I'm just gonna tie this in with the social media accounts. Trainee dating, if it's a secret, I'm pretty sure a lot of kids do it. I don't wanna say like all your faves are dating or whatnot, but like I think we tend to forget that like they're all human as well. I personally didn't know anyone who dated, because everyone was so desperate that like even the smallest thing to breach their contract was like a big no-no. But I've heard stories where they do have relationships, it's just kept under wraps. And is trainee debt real? Yes, it is very much real. Oftentimes with the debt, if you do something that'll breach your contract, or you're like, hey, I want to leave before my contract period is done, there are some times where they will times your debt by 10, is from what I've heard. So it's going to be, you know, the penalty for wanting to leave the company plus the amount that you've accumulated with like hair, makeup, like test photo shoots, like transport, if you're a foreign trainee, like dorm, like everything is accumulated with that. I think for I remember they would give me like an allowance for like lunch every day. I think it was like $10 or so. and I would send in like the receipts of like whatever I ate that day, and they had like a whole track of like my file. This is how much she spent in a week, in a month. What do trainees do if they don't debut? This is one of those questions where it's definitely a cultural difference. It was definitely a difficult decision to leave the industry, but I knew that I had more chances here in the States. Like, America, you can go to community college anytime you want. Like, if you take a gap year, you can always enroll, go in. But Korea, it's like a whole year system where you have to like take the last grade again, and it's like a specific time within the year that you can apply for colleges. What I saw in Korea, the most devastating thing is that kids will actually put their lifeline on becoming a K-pop trainee. And it's just so sad to me because the one thing that I heard the most when I was a trainee was that this is your last chance. After this, you'll have nothing in life. Like, you won't be able to do anything moving forward. Like, if you don't succeed as an idol, there's nothing else for you. Like, you have to do this. Like, put your lifeline on it. Like, if you have to starve for 3 days, like, that's such a small price to pay, which I completely disagree with. These kids are like so young. I would say like the average age now is like 12 to 15-year-olds that are being heard, like being told this and being gaslighted every single day that they're not good enough. This is the only thing that you should be able to do. Like, if you can't even do this, you're worthless. So in Korea, I think it's a lot more common for trainees to like continuously do it, and that's why I think a lot of trainees will go past like 5, 6, 7 years of training, because they are told that they won't have, you know, a chance anywhere else. But that just depends, I think, on their age and like what they want to do moving forward. Disclaimer, this is my personal experience and what I've experienced. I'm not speaking for anyone else. This is just, you know, what I've heard and what I've gone through. Yeah, this was the end of Trainee Tidbits. Make sure to subscribe to Welcome.Zip, give us a like and comment down below if you have any other questions, and see you guys soon. Bye!